Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I'm Surbhi and this is Perspective 360 Degree, your one-stop solution for current affairs, descriptive writing and answer writing evaluation. Merry Christmas everyone. Since it's holiday on Christmas Day, so this is what you're watching is a recorded session. Yes, this is not a live session that's happening. So in case you have any doubts or any additions to make, kindly let me know in the comment section under this video. You can post them in the live section also if you're watching it at 5 p.m. so that I can read them side by side from my home and then I can answer your queries. Alright, so moving ahead, the topic for today is evergreening of loans. Why is this an evergreen issue? First of all, here we need to understand what is evergreening of loans. Secondly, we'll understand that why do banks carry out this practice of evergreening of loans? How does it benefit them or does it benefit them at all? So that's going to be what we are the topic under discussion. First of all, let's look at some news articles which I have been currently watching. This is from the Hindu. It says RBI tightens norms to prevent evergreening of loans via investments in alternative investment funds, that is AIFs. The second one is from Mint. It says evergreening of loans still remains a bane of banking. The third one is RBI clamps down on evergreening of stressed loans via the AIF route. And this is your relevance if I talk about for RBI Grade B. If you talk about this question, it can be appearing in general finance and management. In the financial system part of your syllabus, here we have functions of RBI and banking system in India. Also, we have financial risk management under general topics of your general finance and management syllabus. So, 3 topics are like directly related to this particular issue that we are discussing. And for NABARD Grade A, again, reforms in banking and financial sector, that's where its importance lies. For SEBI Grade A, again, under the syllabus of finance, there is a topic called financial system, and for English writing skills, obviously, it holds relevance. Now, see, this question can have many layers. You can be asked a very specific question with respect to finance, but and that forms a part of your static syllabus. That is, what are alternate investment funds, what are AIFs, what are commercial papers. So yes, the ways in which evergreening of loans is being carried out, that can be asked as part of crude finance. Here we are discussing a very I would say generalistic type of question, which will more so focus on the implications of evergreening of loans. Also, we'll study it lightly, that what is evergreening of loans and why do banks carry it out, what are the methods employed. We'll study them lightly, but for any crude finance knowledge, kindly refer to your static notes, and you can also take help of Kritika ma'am's classes, who discusses current affairs with respect to finance. She takes live classes. You can go back to her notes. Let's see what is the question. It says, describe the concept of evergreening of loans. What are the implications of such an exercise? Answer for 600 words, that is 15 marks. Your descriptive portion is definitely going to ask you a lot of analytical questions, just like this one. So first of all, let's divide our answer into 3 parts, that is introduction, main body and conclusion. In the introduction, we'll be explaining what is evergreening of loans. In body part 1, we'll be talking about methods employed for evergreening of loans, since we have been asked to describe the concept. So, you will have to extend the first part a little bit to be able to get 7.5 marks here. This question is divided clearly into 2 parts. So, 7.5 marks for the first one, 7.5 marks for the second one. And hence, we are describing the introduction, explanation and introduction, and some methods. You can talk about other observations or some data with that RBI or any other organization has given with regards to evergreening of loans. Then talk about implications of such an exercise and then give a summary and a way forward that should be sorted. So talking about introduction, what is evergreening of loans? First of all, understand what is the meaning of the word evergreen. What do you understand by evergreen? Evergreen is that always remains green, that always remains live, that always remains active. So if I'm talking about evergreening of loans, means loans are always active, they are always in place. That means they're never repaid back, they're never paid back. So that's a very interesting name for loans which are never repaid back. Now you must be asking me that, ma'am, loans which are not paid, let's say for 90 days or more, they are known as non-performing assets, they're known as NPAs. Then what is this concept called evergreening of loans? Let's say I take a loan from you, you are a bank, and I take a loan of rupees 1 lakh from you. All right, don't get into the details of numbers. Let's say you are a bank, I am an entity, and we both have good relations, like you know me, you know my family. So I take a loan of 1 lakh from you and I say that I want to invest it in my small business, and then I don't repay that loan back. I don't pay its interest, I don't pay its principal amount. Then since we are like family friends, you are known to me, what you would do is, let me give you a loan of, let's say, 2 lakh rupees now. So you will give me a loan of 2 lakh rupees so that I can pay the 1 lakh rupee loan back, and also I have 1 lakh rupees extra for myself. Now again, I'm not able to pay those 2 lakh rupees back. So next time what you do is you give me a loan of, let's say, 5 lakh rupees, because you work in the bank, you are associated with my family. So when you give me a loan of 5 lakh rupees, I return this 2 lakh rupees that was previously taken, and I have rest of the 3 lakh rupees at my disposal. I keep it for myself. All right. And on the other hand, if I'm not paying this 1 lakh or 2 lakh, what you do is you make some changes or corrections in the balance sheet of your bank so that it is not visible to regulatory bodies that there is this person named Surbhi is my name. So there is this person called Surbhi who has taken this many loan and she's not returned it, and she's getting loan after loan from this particular bank. Now there are so many banks in the country. Obviously RBI has very strict regulatory oversight, but see, in such a vast country and in such a vast banking sector, many errors and omissions can occur. Many intended loans can also be given one after the other, and if I'm somebody who's not returning the loans, still I'm getting money from the bank in the form of newer loans, or my loans previous loans which should have been NPAs and should have brought under the oversight of RBI, they have been hidden because the bank and me are related. Then that will be known as evergreening of loans. Means I'm always having a loan with the bank, but I'm never returning it back. So my loan is evergreen. It's always there. All right. So that's the concept. Let's write about it. During the supervision of banks, here we are talking about the recent RBI statements that during the supervision of banks, RBI noticed certain instances where banks were using innovative ways to conceal the real status of stressed loans. Now this is an interesting method because it's not just one method that banks are using to conceal the real status of stressed loans. Many of these are NPAs, but banks are not characterizing them as NPAs. So this is going to be an interesting question, since RBI has said that there are new ways that banks are employing or bank employees are using. Then evergreening of loans. Here we are defining the evergreening of loans. It refers to a practice used by financial institutions to extend or renew existing loans to borrowers who are struggling to repay their debts. In this case, it's me and you are the bank, and we both have this nexus. So this is done to create the appearance that the borrower is making timely repayments and maintaining a healthy credit profile, which is the entire motive here. Then it allows borrowers to maintain the illusion of ongoing financial stability by continuously obtaining new loans to cover existing obligations. It helps them avoid recognizing NPAs on their balance sheets. So if a bank has a lot of NPAs, obviously more people will not be motivated to open bank accounts with such a bank, and it cannot offer a high rate of interest if NPAs reflect on its balance sheet. So there are many losses that banks also suffer if they have a lot of NPAs. They are under the regulatory oversight of RBI. They might be merged with some other bank if they have a lot of NPAs. That has happened with many banks in the past. So it's a win-win situation for banks as well as the person who's not returning the loan. Also, it helps financial institutions maintain a positive relationship with borrowers. So that's important here. All right, you won't invest your money, you won't put your money in the form of an FD in a bank which has a lot of NPAs. You will feel that the bank authorities, they're irresponsible, and my money, whether in the form of FD or in a bank account, is not safe with XYZ bank. So it's good for banks, on that terms, in terms of their reputation, if they're able to hide or conceal NPAs or these loans which are not returned. So evergreening is a solution that they're employing, and RBI is putting its sight over all these practices going on in the financial system. Now, what are the methods that banks are using? Now, this is going to be very interesting, and here we have the Let's Delve Deeper section. So the methods, the first one is, bringing two lenders together to evergreen each other's loan by sale and buyback of loans or debt instruments. I have a friend, she buys my loan and I buy her loan. In other ways, let's say I have like a loan of 1 lakh rupees which I'm unable to pay back, and another another friend of mine has a loan of 1 lakh rupees, which she is also unable to pay back. We will be like acting as guarantors to each other, and we will be buying each other's loans, that I will pay the loan for this person and she will pay the loan for me. At the end of the day, do we have 1 lakh money to pay to the bank, or do we have that intention? None of us has that. So banks, what they're doing, they bring two lenders together to evergreen each other's loans by sale and buyback of loans or debt instruments. This can also imply that I take a loan of 1 lakh rupees from bank A, and to return this amount, I take a loan of, let's say, 1.5 lakh rupees from bank B. So the loan in the banking system, it stays the same. It's the same amount of loan is there, but lenders, that is the banks, are different. Then good borrowers being persuaded to enter into structured deals, deal with the stressed borrower to conceal the stress. For example, this could be through AIFs, it could be through mutual funds, not mutual funds but AIFs. Then use of internal or office accounts. This is very interesting, that you can just tamper your accounts if a bank officer can tamper with the accounts or office books. Then renewal of loans or disbursement of new additional loans to the stressed borrower. This is something that we discussed in the initial slide, where you were the bank and you were giving me the loan. Extending loan to willful defaulters to keep them out of the defaulter books. If I've defaulted in the past, you keep on giving me more and more loan to be able to default in future as well. So these are some of the methods, though these are not very much required. You can very well write this part in 2 lines itself. So this should be enough for giving you half of the marks for this answer. Now talking about implications, and this is going to carry more weightage in your exam, though we divide it as 7.5 and 7.5, but always look at which part is more important. The implications or the analytical part will always be more important in an answer. So talking about implications, the first implication here is that if a bank is carrying out evergreening of loans, so the reputation of bank is inflated. That means it stays good, because you don't know, as the citizens don't know what's happening behind the walls. So inflates the quality of institutions' loan portfolio, which can mislead investors, regulators, and the public about its financial health of bank. Then what else can it do? It can lead to cycle of increasing debt, and means which can actually cause financial instability in the long run. Then there are regulatory challenges with RBI and SEBI for that matter, in if there is an investment in alternate investment funds, if AIFs have been employed to conceal these NPAs. So continual adaptation of evergreening methods poses significant challenges for regulators like RBI to ensure financial stability. The fourth one is problematic for the overall stability of the financial system, because the money in your financial system, it is staying the same. If it is going into businesses or companies, let's say my 1 lakh rupees that I took from you, it is going into a business that's not generating profit. In fact, it is generating more and more debt for the system, and it's only me who's benefiting out of it. So the entire stability of financial system suffers, because true extent of bad loans in an economy is not known, and ultimately what happens, banks get into an NPA crisis. One fine day you wake up in the morning and you tune into the news channels and you realize that the bank you had invested your money with, it is having a lot of NPAs, and hence you might not be able to get your money back from it. Money more than 5 lakhs, you might not be able to get it. Then it also indicates a sign of misgovernance, and it impacts India's banking reputation, not only at the regional, not only in the national, but at the global level. And signs of misgovernance also indicate that there is a nexus that is going on between bank officers or bank employees and these people who are actually the receivers of these loans and who are actually the defaulters of loans. In fact, CBI had detected several cases of fund diversion by promoters of companies from loans advanced again and again by banks in the last couple of years. And as you can see, it is written here, it is indicated that there is an unholy relationship between banks and borrowers. Then it contributes to the crowding out effects. Now, many a times there are small banks, there are urban cooperative banks, there are rural banks, there are so many banks in the country, so many borrowing institutions or financial institutions in the country. What happens is that your big banks, especially which are important for the economy, very big banks, they are under tight regulations of RBI, and they maintain mostly a clean balance since 2016, since they talked about their NPAs. But with the smaller banks, what happens? Many people come to them and they take loans from them, and then these people cannot be seen again. And since the bank is very small in size, these people do not have adequate methods. That small bank does not have adequate methods to get the loan back. So ultimately, what happens? It leads to crowding out effects for smaller banking companies or for smaller banks. So there is evidence of practice called indirect evergreening. This involves struggling companies borrowing money from weak banks through related parties, but instead of using the funds for productive investments, they increase their debt levels of these weak banks. And these weak banks are very important for the economy because they provide credit in areas where big banks are not functioning, or where big banks do not have not won the trust of general public. So as a result, valuable resources are misallocated, which contributes to crowding out effects typically associated with financially vulnerable companies. So these are some of the implications. There can be n number of additions made here. If you're somebody who has a background in finance, or you have completed your finance syllabus, I'm sure that you can add terms like commercial papers, AIFs here. So kindly go for that, post that in your answers, and let me know in the comment section after this whatever additions you want to make. Now in the conclusion points, there has to be a way forward. That means there has to be a solution. Now what will you do about evergreening of loans in the economy? There is a committee which was formed. It was known as the PJ Nayak committee. He was Mr. PJ Nayak was the head of that committee. So he gave a few recommendations to prevent evergreening of loans. He said that that committee said that wherever significant evergreening in a bank is detected by RBI, then there should be a very strict measures should be taken. And what are these? Penalties should be levied through cancellations of unvested stock options for that bank, clawback of monetary bonuses for officers. Bonuses to officers should not be given who are involved in evergreening. And the chairman of audit committee, since audit committee plays a very important role regarding checking the books of banks, balance sheet of banks, the chairman of audit committee should be asked to step down from the board. Also, primary defense against evergreening must, however, come from the CEO, audit committee, and the board. This is like a amalgamation of 2 points. So audit committee has to be particularly vigilant. If significant evergreening is detected one after the other, it should imply that evergreening, it is not something that was away from the eyes of officers or employees. It was actually happening from the support from bank officials, from the side of the bank administration itself. So willful evergreening it can be termed as. So it becomes necessary to levy penalties and action against the erring officers, and also, such banks, the names of such banks need to be made public so that such events are not carried out in future. Now that was your solutions. You can give solutions, but do not make these your own solutions. Mention the name of this committee. Also, way forward can be more vigilance from the side of regulatory bodies like RBI and SEBI, who looks after your mutual funds, stocks, where bank money mostly goes in, or people who are taking loans from banks mostly invest in. So your banking system and your trading system, it cannot function separately. It has to be in coordination with each other. So regulatory gaps can be sealed only when there is regulatory bodies coordinating with each other. Improving transparency in loan reporting, especially in fast-growing areas like NBFCs. Again, we saw the NBFCs crisis few years back. So transparency is very much required here. Use of digital methods is very much needed. Moreover, reinforcing governance and audit processes in banks. Again, the problem was that the responsibility that we here gave was with regards to audit committee and the board and CEO. So audit committee needs to be vigilant, and so role of audit committee has been emphasized here. Now this question is for 600 words, answer for 15 marks. If you have any doubts here, kindly let me know in the comment section. Post your answers for free evaluation in the YouTube comment section, the comment section under this video, in the next 48 hours. So you are watching this on 25th of December. Kindly post this. Kindly post your answers by Wednesday 5 p.m. That is 27th of December 5 p.m. Kindly post your answers by that time, and any answers which have not been evaluated in the past, because it was a long weekend, so you will get evaluation by tomorrow itself, that is by 26th. And for these ones you will be getting evaluation by 27th December 5 p.m. So I'll see you with another discussion on Wednesday, and till then just take care and all the very best.